Hey, it's me. I am about to answer these questions. Okay. Um, Question number one, who is your musical inspiration? Uh, I'm really inspired by people who have made their careers on their own. Artists like Sufjan Stevens and Bon Iver, people who dare to be different and who are rewarded for stepping out of the mainstream. Um, I love Bon Iver's story, how he had some bad breakup and decided to just go into the woods and make music to help heal himself. And what he came up with was incredibly unique and unlike anything anybody had heard. And because of that, he was drawn into the spotlight. And I think that's really cool that he didn't just try to write some pop tunes and hope that somebody picked him up. He just did his own thing, and I really respect that. Question number two, what was it like to tour around with Team Star Kid? um, Touring with Team Star Kid is pretty much the most fun ever. uh, Not only was it just incredible experiences with the shows, and the time on the bus and the going out and everything like that, but I really, really am thankful for the relationships that I made with everybody along the way. I feel like I have some unbreakable friendships that I definitely would not have had otherwise. It was initially surprising, but after the first couple of days, I realized that we are cut from the same cloth, different types of artists, but a lot of us had similar backgrounds, and I just felt really connected to them. So I'm very thankful for that experience. When did I first become involved with music? I decided that I wanted to be a professional musician when I was in 8th grade. I think it started with me finally playing some really, truly difficult and rewarding music on the piano, and I was just hooked by that feeling. That feeling of really great return when you put in a lot of work towards something. And that was the point of no return. Then I put pretty much all of my spare time into music in some way, whether I was just listening to a ton of music. I pretty much only listened to classical music between, I don't know, 8th grade and like 11th grade or something for a long time. And I practiced a ton, and I would just, in my spare time, I would just sit at the piano and I would make up songs, and I would think of etudes to play on the piano, basically challenge myself to step outside the box and to do things I'd never done before and things that were really challenging. It was pretty great. Upcoming projects. I have a record release on January 8th. My debut solo album, which is called W, the letter, will be released on that date. I have a party at Shapeshifter Lab in Brooklyn, New York, which is all ages. And hopefully the music will be up on iTunes right around that date as well. After that, in the coming months, I think I'm going to be doing some touring with Charlene in the springtime around South by Southwest. And hopefully I'll be doing a tour of my own this summer. I'm also hoping to perhaps do a music video or two this year. A lot of that depends on outside influences, but I'm, starting to have some conversations and get the ball rolling on some ideas I have with that, so I'm super excited about that. What kinds of things inspire and motivate you to convey your passions? I am a glutton for rich experiences. I'm the type of person who seeks out all new and interesting experiences, even if they're awkward and uncomfortable. It's really hard to make me uncomfortable. Even the terrible moments, I feel like, have a really, really deep and important value to your life, and I feel like all the aspects of everything that could possibly happen make you who you are. So even when you wake up in the morning and you just cannot believe what's been happening or where your life is or where it's going to be, I feel like those moments are the moments that make art. Those are the moments that make your life differ from everybody else's, and those are the moments that make me want to write music. Those are the moments that pretty much all of my music is written about. What would be the theme song to your life playlist? I think it would probably be Extraordinary Machine by Fiona Apple. Basically saying that doesn't matter what happens, it can't get you down because you're just cranking along, you're an extraordinary machine. It's a great tune. Who have I gotten closer to during my work with StarKid? Well, I didn't really know any of the StarKid people aside from Nick Lang before Space Tour, so I got closer to all of them. Um, Especially the ladies, though. I feel a really, really good connection with the girls that I shared bus with. So especially like Julia, Lauren, Jamie, and Charlene. I feel like our girls' night in on the bus that we had all the time were really valuable, and they're nights that I'll never forget. I feel like I really connected with them on a deeper level, and those were just really incredible, incredible times for me. The funniest moment on tour. Man, I feel like anything I say here is going to betray the friendship code, so I gotta be careful. Um, I would have to say that the birth of Rick Richter was a really incredible moment that nobody expected. I don't even think Joey expected that moment to happen, but it did, and it was really great. Um, there was also an incident that we coined the smell monster, and I feel like I'm really not at liberty to say very much about that, but that one definitely lives in my memory as one of the funniest experiences of my life. Oh man, and I feel like every day there was something new, like a new accent or somebody making fun of somebody else for something that was just great. I don't know. Too many to tell. What do I do when I'm not being a musician? I'm really into running and cooking and reading. I do a lot of those things. On my precious few days off, I probably still spend several hours on the business side of music, trying to keep things in order, writing out music into finale, getting stuff organized for shows, all that kind of stuff. But I always make sure that I have to break up those days with a big run, or cooking huge, delicious meals a few, 2, 3 times a day, because I feel like those things really keep me grounded. And without those things, I can just kind of float off into space and have a hard time focusing. So it's really important to focus on keeping yourself healthy. What was I like in high school? I was that music girl in high school. The girl that did everything music. I was in orchestra, I was in show choir, vocal jazz, theater. I did all of the musicals, and I also did piano lessons and violin lessons and voice lessons outside of school. I played in this local symphony orchestra. I played in a string quartet, just everything. I was super busy. My personality, I was pretty awkward and nerdy, and guys definitely didn't like me. um, I had some really good, really close friendships that I still have, and I really value those friendships. And there were definitely some people that I really connected with. But outside of school, I pretty much just buried myself in music, whether it be practicing or going to rehearsals. I was extremely independent, and scheduled everything on my own. I did all of my lessons and everything on my own. As soon as I had a car, I just kind of went about my own way. And I was always really old for my age, very mature for my age, and I've always been a really free thinker. So I had a hard time with school in the sense that I didn't like the authority or the demand that they put on me to do things that I didn't think was necessary for myself. However, I'm also a very obedient person, so I did everything that I needed to do and I got good grades, but nothing was more freeing than graduating from high school and going into college where I could then make my own schedule and prioritize my own time. That was really great. What's it like to be a part of a fan base and have fans? It still totally blows my mind every show. I feel like I'm really blessed being a part of a group that has a fan base. And I feel like the fan base has taken me in and shown me so much love. It makes me feel confident that anything I'm bold enough to create as an artist will be met with open ears. And that is such an incredible feeling. That is something that so many artists don't get. A lot of people spend um, their lives creating things that nobody will ever hear, even if it's great art, because they don't have people willing to listen. And I feel so blessed that no matter what I create, you guys will hopefully listen to it, and whether you like it or not, that's your own your own choice after that. But at least I have that going for me, which is really incredible. What instrument did I first learn to play? My first instrument was piano. I started piano when I was 3 years old. I was a Suzuki piano kid, so I did that whole thing, where you learn primarily by ear. Uh, and I did all the concerts and the competitions and everything. I was a very serious piano kid until I graduated from high school. So all of that comes with all the practice, all the competitions, and the community that comes with taking from the same piano teacher for years. It was really, really awesome. What's my favorite instrument to play? This is really tough to answer. Um, but I would have to say that singing always brings me joy. There are moments of stress when learning new things on the piano or the violin because there's a lot of technique to it, and you can sometimes get worried like, oh man, this passage is really difficult. I hope I play it well. But for me, singing is just the most joyful thing I do. I always love it. I always enjoy it, and it never brings me any anxiety or stress. It's just such a wonderful part of my life. Who do people say I look like? A couple of people have said that I look like Zoe Deschanel. And one time at a party in college, this guy told me I look like Jennifer Connelly, which I was pretty excited about. But then, like 10 minutes later, I overheard him telling another girl who looked nothing like me that she looked like Jennifer Connelly. So then I realized that I think that might be a line he uses to try to pick up girls. And so maybe I don't look like Jennifer Connelly. Advice for aspiring musicians. Firstly, you can never spend too much time perfecting your craft. I would just say to be an open sponge and to try to bring in as much inspiration as you can, to listen to as much as you can, to go to as many concerts as you can, and to just never let moments be idle. Every moment should be a chance to deepen your musicianship, your creativity. Even if you're, just watching a documentary on Netflix or something like that, try to always connect that to your music and to your creativity. Secondly, do not let your friends or your parents or your teachers or anybody else tell you that music or any sort of artistic career is not a viable career option, because it is. I would say that 90% of my friends in the city are performing musicians who do not have other jobs. It's not an extremely rare thing that only a choice few people get to do. It's something that is a possibility if you have your stuff together. You can do this. Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. And it takes a lot of big risks. You have to be bold enough to say, I think I'm good enough for this. I think that I should be able to do this for a living and that people should pay me to do it. And that's a really difficult thing to be confident in. But people are getting paid to play music. People are getting paid all over the world to make art. And why not you? I think the most important piece of advice I could give to aspiring musicians is that the people who do get the most gigs are three things. First of all, they're always on time. You don't have to worry about them, showing up late, not having their gear, etc. You're just really consistent with the practicality of the gig. Second of all, you always know your music, even at the very first rehearsal. You show up and you have everything ready to go. You have your charts made and everything. So your employer or whomever is never going to doubt whether or not you can play the music. And thirdly, you have to be fun to hang out with, because if you're lame, nobody's going to call you back for the gig. You have to have a good personality. You have to be willing to be friendly, to have fun, and really enjoy the company of other people. Music is primarily a social thing, way more so than a technical thing. How long have you been playing each instrument? I've been playing piano since I was 3, violin since I was 10, and singing for as long as I can remember. And so, without giving away my age, that's a long time. My piano playing, if it were a child, I could take it to the bar. I'll just put it that way. How do you see your life in 5 years? In 5 years, I would like to have another record out, and I would like to be making a decent living, just nothing fancy, but I would love to be able to pay my rent and to eat on my own music, which is a very bold goal, but I think it's a very doable goal. I would like to be traveling and performing quite a bit, but maybe have a more focused schedule, or maybe consolidate that a little bit more. So maybe a big tour 2 or 3 times a year where I go out for 3 to 6 weeks or something like that. But something that allows me a little bit more time to get away from the city and to spend a little bit more time in nature, because it's pretty tough when you're gone 2 weeks out of the month to feel grounded at all, and that can become kind of wearing on you. But hopefully as I become more successful in music, I'll be able to craft a more conducive schedule to something that I know will work with my lifestyle and the things that I need. How much has your life been impacted since the space tour? Since space tour, I would say that pretty much everything is different in my life. Space tour completely changed the course of my career. I feel like, most importantly, it helped me have the confidence that I can do this, that people are enthusiastic and supportive and hungry for new art all over the world, and that hopefully I can be one of the people who brings that art to them, who brings meaning to their experiences, and who helps them relate my own experiences, which have been very, very important and very rich to me. Hopefully they can relate to those experiences and find something that makes them feel like they're not alone. Baby, you're not alone, 'cause you're here with me. Sorry. Because many people want to know. Okay, my favorite genre of music, I would say, is melodic and highly emotional indie sort of stuff. My least favorite genre of music is metal. Sorry guys, sorry metalheads. My favorite artist or band, that's a really difficult question, but I would have to say the person who's stood the test of time for the longest is probably Jeff Buckley or maybe Chopin. That's tough. I don't know. Um, my favorite fruit is bananas because they're sweet and delicious and portable. And when you eat them with peanut butter, it's like a dessert and it's so good. Um, my favorite food is rice. On everything, with everything, for every meal, rice for breakfast, rice for lunch, rice for dinner. You can cook it with some vegetables, you can throw an egg in there. It's just so good. It's really filling, it's really grounding, it's delicious. It's the best food ever. My favorite book is The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. If you guys haven't heard of it, I really suggest taking a look at this book. It really, really helped me become inspired and focused in my career and have the confidence to move forward. It's such an incredible, incredible read. And my favorite TV show is probably Sex and the City. Really, I love that show. I think it inspired me in college to move to New York, and I think that's been one of the best decisions of my life. And I just love the friendship and the camaraderie between the girls. I think that's something that everybody can relate to on a personal experience, on a personal level. Yeah, I think those are all the questions. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. All right. Thanks. Take care. Bye.